I selected 6 articles from newspapers that discuss the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. I thought it would be especially appropriate to read about the event since the anniversary is coming up on December 7th. The articles that I selected would enhance classroom teaching in an American History 2 course because the articles introduce several important topics of World War II. The first, December 8, 1941 article from the Washington Post is Witness Describes Opening Attack on Pearl Harbor. This short article highlights the witness account of Merritt Law. Law heard a bomb explode with a deafening roar and saw a single file of dive bombers diving over the water to destroy American warships. The second, December 7, 1941 newspaper article from the New York Times titled Tokyo Bombers Strike Hard at Our Main Bases on Oahu, further elaborates on the attack, including information on the timeline, the enemy planes and tactics, defense forces, the heavy loss of life and property, and foreknowledge about the attack. A professor could use both of these articles in American History 2 as a springboard to discuss participants in World War II, causes of World War II, events leading to America's entrance, military tactics in World War II, and the human cost of war. The third article from the Baltimore Sun, dated December 22, 1941, is Parents Told 3 Sons Were Missing After Pearl Harbor Attack. This is a very sad article where the War Department notified Mr. and Mrs. Peter Barber that 3 of their 5 sons, Malcolm 22, Leroy 21, and Randolph 19, were missing in action after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. The father reported that all 3 served as firemen on the battleship Oklahoma, which capsized. A professor could use this article in American History 2 to discuss the human cost of war and the impact that World War II had on families in American society. The fourth article from the New York Times is a December 27, 1941 article titled Workmen at Pearl Harbor Stuck to Job During Bombing on December 7th. As the title suggests, the report highlights the contributions of civilian workers at Pearl Harbor. According to the report, civilians rushed repairs under fire and helped put guns in position to fight the sudden enemy. The job that normally would take many hours, the civilians accomplished while the raid was in progress. Several of the workers volunteered to help load the guns during the firing. One officer stated all the civilians displayed extreme gallantry in their disregard of personal danger, and their attempts to help salvage aircraft and put out fires was commendable. A professor could use this article in American History 2 to introduce the contributions that civilians made in the war effort. The fifth article is Knox, Laud's Heroes of Pearl Harbor by Harold A. Williams. Williams, writing in the Baltimore Sun, writes on December 20, 1941, how Secretary of the Navy Frank Knox spoke to U.S. Navy Academy graduates on the heroism of military personnel at Pearl Harbor during the Japanese attacks. Knox told them that from the top admirals to the newest recruit fresh from training stations, they fought with gallant courage in a complete disregard of personal danger. Knox admonished the graduates to emulate the example of their comrades. A professor could use this article in American History 2 to explore the lives of military personnel during World War II and the sacrifices they made. The final writing from the Manchester Guardian is Roosevelt to Congress, Date That Will Live in Infamy, War Vote. This writing is President Roosevelt's speech to Congress, where he requested a war declaration. Roosevelt said yesterday, December 7, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. I ask that the Congress declare that since the unprovoked and dastardly attack by Japan on Sunday, December 7, 1941, a state of war has existed between the United States and the Japanese Empire. A professor could use the Manchester Guardian's newspaper print of Roosevelt's speech to explore key leaders of World War II and the decisions they made. Thank you very much.